The MG Show. What real independent journalism looks like.
Smash that like for the MG Show! Subscribe now! Ring that!
What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show.
Answer the question!
The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Are you guys ready to save the Republic? Yeah, let's go. And by the way, did you?
Bell, let's go! Smash that like for the MG Show! Yeah! Let's go!
Did you?
Did you? Answer the question. Man.
Thank you guys very much. We are growing here on the MG Show, and it's all thanks to you. My goodness. It's really interesting to be a part of something that happened, for 8 years, ago-ish, and to understand what is actually happening economically, with the culture, with everything that's going on with the, foreign and domestic billionaires funding all this BS, the non-grassroots stuff that they say it's grassroots, but it's not. You're grassroots. You guys are the ones that are going to save your republic. Shady Groove, welcome to the show.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly right. It's up to them. It's up to you. It's up to us. It's up to us also to understand what information is valid and what information is garbage, independently up to us. And let me tell you something right now. They are feeding you heavy. It is unbelievable the amount of BS that is currently rolling downhill, because they have got to stop MAGA. They have got to stop this movement that we have started. They have got to stop the D5 avalanche no matter what they're doing. They're throwing all their people out. They're throwing Megyn Kelly out there. They got Nick Fuentes out there. They're all telling you, you gotta go along to get along. We're not going along to get along with communists, guys. I'm so sorry to tell you that we fought pretty hard to get Donald Trump elected 3 different times. We're not going to just bow down to your dumb communist BS. If there's anybody out there in the world that's telling you to, quote, burn it down, they are a communist at their core. They have no desire whatsoever to fix anything. They have no desire to keep anything that you like already. They want to get rid of all of it. They want to get rid of you, and they want you to shut the F up and go back in your hole. That's what they want you to do if you're a Donald Trump supporter. And guess what? They have met their match.
Yeah, they have. And, Rand Paul is saying,
but Fauci, it's almost going to be the time where we can't prosecute Fauci, Shady. We can't prosecute Fauci.
Guess what?
What?
Joe Biden pardoned Fauci.
Oh, so make sure you put all your money into Rand Paul and Massey, guys. They're lying to you. They think you're stupid.
They know they know that they can get away with this amongst a group of people that are internet yes men. All of these digital numbnuts out there supporting Candace and supporting all this. They're the same ones that supporting Megyn Kelly, supporting Tucker Carlson, and support Nick Fuentes, and support Alex Jones. They're all internet shills. They are here as opportunists to make it look like people think this stupid stuff.
Yeah. This is the new narrative right now from the Candace Owens, InfoWars, General Flynn, Ian Carroll, all of them. We need to continue to fix the fracture between the left and the right. We now know what true evil is. It's us against Epstein class and warmongers.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
It's us against you.
Yep.
I don't want to be a communist. Glenn Beck said it the best, basically. This operation, this psychological operation that they're running on you is for us to either become communist, Islamic, or socialist. Okay? Yep. That's the end game for these people. I don't want to be any one of those, Shady. I want to be we the people and the republic. And if you guys are still we should start a mass block campaign for all these asshats. I'm serious. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
No, dude, I'm telling you, man, I know that it's hard to see this, but just trust me whenever I say this, and you discern for yourself. They are against capitalism. These are the same people that came to tell me that I wasn't allowed to sell you a t-shirt. These are the same people that said that I was a patriot because we wanted to do something to talk to the people, something that was supported by you. That is who these people are. They are anti-capitalist. That means they are pro-communist. There is no gray area, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you this right now. I know that every single political professor that you ever had that's ever been produced in this country disagrees with me. And I know that every single person that's been on TV numbing around, like acting like they know stuff, disagrees with me. But let me tell you here very clearly, there is no gray area between capitalism and communism. It is black and white. Okay? You either have freedom or you have totalitarianism. They are trying to drag you into totalitarianism from freedom. And then they've got all of these idiots, even the Jackson Hinkle guy, the center core communist that General Flynn and all these people support. They say he's the bee's knees. He's putting up content this morning, said, I stand with Iran. I stand with Iran is exactly where these people have been trying to get you. And it's exactly what the Q posts were telling you. These people are shills for communism. They are shills for socialism. They are shills for whatever you want to call it that ain't capitalism.
That's right. And they're talking about Epstein. Who was on there 26 plus times, Shady Groove?
Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill Clinton.
Yeah, but he's innocent.
Packed with Democrat and insiders, Hollywood liberals, Clinton world. I mean, Trump banned the creep from Mar-a-Lago in 2007, guys. What they're doing isn't draining the swamp. It's rebranding elite accountability. Yep. And they want you to think a certain way. And that is against Donald J. Trump and basically make you throw your hands up and give up. Never, ever give up, guys. Never.
Not only not give up, get loud. Okay. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. You tell whoever you want. Get loud. You are the majority in America. The silent What do they call it? The silent minority. Oh, wait. The silent, just a couple of people. Oh, wait, no. The silent majority in America is who you belong to. And you have to own that. And if we don't stand up and own it, thank God that we have a platform here where we can talk directly to you. We had to fight these people for 8 years, and we just literally got back on Spotify 3 days ago. Okay. Yeah. They cut us down. They cut us off of Spotify. Listen, guys, I want you to understand this. They said that they took us off of Spotify because we were being hateful. Candace Owens is on Spotify. Joe Rogan is on Spotify. Megyn Kelly is on Spotify. Tucker Carlson is on Spotify. Every single one of those are overtly attacking Jewish people and saying that Israel is the only problem on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Israel has puppeteers. Puppeteers at the core of the intelligence community are not Israeli. Yeah. Israeli isn't even a thing, okay? They are from Rome. Mm. They are Jesuits. They are secret orders. They are Satanists. That's who it is. Do you ever hear InfoWars calling out the Jesuits? Do you ever hear Ian Carroll talking about the Vatican? Do you ever hear Candace Owens? Oh, no, wait. There we have Candace Owens on the checkered floor. Oh, wait. Tucker Carlson runs to Rome. Why is Nick Fuentes outside of the Vatican 4 days ago? You guys are being hoodwinked.
Yeah, hoodwinked. Guys, don't forget, we got this too. This is the app.mg.show. There it is right there, guys. We've got watch on Rumble, watch on YouTube. We got donate. We got Substack, guys. You got to get over to our Substack. If you're not on the Substack, get over there. We got 13 likes and 3 comments and 4 shares.
Nice.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. That's good. That's good
That
news.
is good.
Let's get that going. MG Show donate, Give, Send, Go, Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, all right here. MG Show music right there. You know, there's also, watching us on Rumble, our official site, the YouTube channel, Shannon and Jeff's X right here, our True Social, Telegram chat. Spotify is now added to the list, guys. Shady, look at this here. There's a trivia game on here. Are you ready to play?
I've already played it.
What time does the MG Show go on? 3 p.m. Oh, no. I got 0 pence. What? MG Show. No.
Okay.
Dang, I got nothing. You guys got to see if you guys get I can't do it, guys.
Don't give them the answers.
Get over to I don't even know what the answer is. Apparently, I failed. But maybe you guys can do a little bit better. Get that app, guys. And it goes on your phone. Save it to your home screen, and it looks just like an app. And you can keep up with the MG Show. What was their PayPal again? Boom. You can go ahead and look it up on the app.mg.show. Thank you, guys.
And you can share it with your friends. You can share the link to the app with your friends. They can put it on their phone. They can watch at their leisure, and they can maybe get a moment where they start to see. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys, this was amazing. I am so glad that we asked you to send in your commentary, because what it showed us was something amazing. What it showed us is that what we're doing here is cutting through the noise. It's showing us so many people that have that directly within the last month or so told us that you don't need it. You don't need InfoWars. You don't need Badlands Media. You don't need X22. You don't need any of these things. You don't need MG Show.
Yeah.
But you come here because you love the camaraderie. You love the content. You love the people that are here. You love the idea that we are standing up for what Donald Trump thinks and for what Donald Trump says. Listen, I fought corrupt government my whole life. I came to a microphone and fought 7 years to get a non-corrupt man to be the president of the United States. And all of these jackals have come around me to scream and yell at me and tell me that what I know to be true isn't true. This is gaslighting times a million, everyone. And it's very hard to navigate.
Yeah, it is. And I want to just play this one more time. Just look at this, Shady Grove. Wow.
Yeah, Democrats have been name-calling and inciting people. It's called stochastic terrorism. It incites crazy people to commit acts of violence. In a statement that aids as well as...
Wow. And so President Trump confirmed I first posted it on 9/11, right after Charlie Kirk's murder, 9/11/2025, and it is now confirmed by President Trump. How huge is that, guys?
It's pretty interesting, too, because
and I can't undo repost and repost this video, Shady. Isn't that interesting?
From yesterday?
Yeah.
Or from the other day?
You know how sometimes you can undo it and repost it
to
rebump it? I can't rebump this one. So, guys, I'm going to need you guys to go over there and rebump it for me. Thank you.
Have you went out of the app and back into it, like closed it all down? I did that one time, and it actually worked. But interestingly enough, whenever we started talking about the stochastic terrorism, there was a few people that were in our audience that were triggered by that, by the way. That ended up acting like, we were doing something wrong by explaining to you exactly how this operates, which means effectively the normal way of an asset, if you will, is you got to bring them in, you got to give them some money, you got to take care of them, you got to do this. Sometimes you have to have a therapist, you got to groom them, get the person all amped up and ready to go for something. Stochastic terrorism is very different. You generate an air of an insinuation of guilt. You destabilize the environment to the point where you say, oh, this guy's a Nazi, he's a fascist, he's this, he's that, to the point where a rational person thinking they can do something about it starts to get radicalized within themselves, and then they go find what it is their confirmation bias is looking for. Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, it really is. It's all about that. So, okay. So, we want to jump in because we've got kind of a pesky Q-proof developing, Shady Groove.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes along with post 1252 Shady Groove. Do you remember that one?
1252. I probably will when you.
Let me grab it. 1, 2. I'm just saying that to kind of buy some time.
Oh, now that was pretty good. Yeah. 1252. Oh,
yeah. You know that one.
One where she was kissing the bird.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. From my first day in the Senate, I sought his guidance, and he was always generous with his time and wisdom. As Secretary of State, I continue to rely on his advice and counsel, Grand Master, Grand Wizard, Grand whatever. Quick history lesson, 13th Amendment, abolished slavery, 100% Republican support, just 23 Democrat support. 14th Amendment, Shady, gave citizenship to freed slaves, 94% Republican, 0 Democrat. 15th Amendment, right to vote for all, 100% Republican, 0 from Democrat. It's time to learn the truth. Why are the Dems inspiring activist groups to remove history regarding slavery? Why are history books being painted a different picture than before? Why are teachers following a new false script? Republicans are racist. Learn the term projection. Why are they threatened? MSM has you brainwashed. They want you controlled. They want you enslaved. They want you divided. They want you dependent. What has the Democrat Party done for the black population? Seriously, what has the Democrat Party done for the black population? What has the Republican Party done for the black population? What has the President of the United States done in 1 year? And this goes back to last term. He did a lot. He funded black colleges. He did a lot of stuff, right?
A huge amount.
What is the net worth of black leaders today? Why does Pelosi mention Martin Luther King 74% of the time during weekly addresses? Martin Luther King was a conservative. Learn the truth. Reread the drops regarding slave grip of the black population. Why do we look at skin color? Division. It's time to unite and fight for our freedom. Together, we are strong. Apart, you are weak. Patriots have no skin color, Shady. And this is the video that I want to show you. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Check it out.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now in the numbers is President Trump and the Republican Party are chipping away at the long-term advantage that Democrats have had with black voters, with African Americans. You can see it right here. Look, Trump's approval among African Americans at this point in term 1, he was at 12%. You know, he's been losing ground with a lot of people. He's gaining ground with African Americans. He's up to 16% at this point. And you say, this isn't that big of a shift. But I will tell you, Republicans absolutely love this shift that's going on because Democrats have had such a long-term advantage. The fact that he's actually gaining ground versus where he was in term number 1, this has major implications for elections down the line because Democrats, especially in a lot of these tight races, you talk about places like Georgia, right down in the South, you see this type of movement for Trump actually gaining ground. This could have major ramifications and help put Republicans over the top in a number of southern places in the midterm elections.
But do you see this as part of a bigger trend?
I see this as absolutely part of a bigger trend. Donald Trump's Republican Party is absolutely gaining ground, not just him gaining in terms of his approval rating, but look at the party ID margin, Kate, because this to me was absolutely stunning. Look at this party ID margin among African Americans. At this point in Trump term number 1, Democrats had a 63-point advantage. That has absolutely fallen. Look at where it is now. A double-digit shift away. Democrats, of course, still have the advantage, but it's a 12-point shift to the Republican Party. And I look back through Gallup's records. They sent me their records. And this, in fact, lead that Democrats have is actually smaller than any lead from 2006 to 2021. So Democrats are leading. But again, we're talking about chipping away. Republicans are chipping away at this long-term advantage that Democrats have had among African Americans. We see it in terms of Trump's approval rating, and we even see it to a wider degree among the party ID margin, where all of a sudden there are a number of African Americans who are walking away from the Democratic Party and a number of them who are walking into the Republican tent.
That is very interesting looking at that past Gallup information.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the race for control in Congress?
Okay, so you see this right here. You see this 51-point advantage that Democrats have, significantly less than you see that 63-point advantage. And what we will note was back in 2024, right, Donald Trump put in a historically strong performance among African Americans. Democrats performed the worst in a generation. Have they gained any of that coalition back from where they fell down to in 2024? But take a look here. Okay. Choice for election among African Americans. Kamala Harris was leading amongst that group in the pre-election polling by 63 points. Are Democrats gaining back any of that ground? It's a 62-point advantage now. Republicans are holding on to the gains that they made among African Americans in 2024. Republicans are gaining among African Americans. They are chipping away at that long-term advantage. The Donald Trump-led Republican Party is making gains among African Americans that we simply put have not seen the Republican Party make in a generation.
Fascinating. Good to see.
Wow. It's pretty huge, guys.
Oh, Jeff, it's bigger than huge. It's bigger than huge. What is it currently? We were talking about this morning. What are Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and these people saying right now? Jeff just showed you the post. They're saying, "Oh, we need to fix the divide in our country." Really? Isn't it interesting that what we just saw right there, Jeff? Doesn't that look to you like fixing the divide?
No. I mean,
what Donald Trump, Trump was, that is, so in other words, Donald Trump is bringing on Democrats. Donald Trump is bringing on center people. Donald Trump is bringing on people to his platform that are finally understanding that what he's doing is the right, proper way for America. Now, interesting, does the KKK like Jewish people, Jeff?
No.
No, they're not very friendly with Jewish people, are they? What in the world were we doing whenever we were targeting Jewish people in World War I and World War II? Were we trying to target Jewish people so that German people would throw them out of their country so that we could bring them to Israel in the middle of a Palestinian state and cause chaos around the world between the Christians and the Muslims and the Jewish people that did not exist pre-World War I? Okay? The KKK and the Nazis and the Vatican agree on a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? You can say whatever it is that you want to say, but this reality that we're seeing right here, where these people are coming out and telling you that the Jewish people are your problem, and Benjamin Netanyahu is like on his own. He's not ever been a puppet of anything. I think they're mad at Benjamin Netanyahu because Benjamin Netanyahu didn't go along with their program. He started going along with Donald Trump. So the problem with Benjamin Netanyahu is not that he's Benjamin Netanyahu. It's that Donald Trump is puppeting Benjamin Netanyahu. So they invert it and they say that he's puppeting Donald Trump. So the reality of the situation is, who's trying to fix the divide in America? We are. Who's actually fixing the divide in America? We are. Who brought Democrats to vote for Donald Trump in 2024? Trump did. Who's bringing more Democrats onto his platform as he gets stronger and does the right thing? Trump is. So these people are trying to make it like they are doing what Trump is already doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And, these people are just insane, Shady. Everybody's like, why do you keep attacking, they use it attacking, or just telling the truth about these people? Because Q did, guys.
Right.
Infiltration, not invasion.
I mean, it's so easy to see. It's like, it's like people that are members of the KKK think Jewish people are worse than black people. Do you understand that? Like, that's what they think. I don't want to say that to you. But it's just so frustrating to me that all these people threw me off the air acting like what I was saying was somehow hateful. But in all reality, can you see now clearly that I wasn't being thrown off the air? We weren't being thrown off the air because we were being hateful.
We were over the target.
Maybe we weren't being hateful enough.
We were over the target.
Wow. This is crazy, man, what they're allowing to be spoken, considering what they said was the problem with us.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. We're back on Spotify, guys.
Yes.
Did you tell Alani yet?
I told her all weekend.
Oh, she's probably sick of you already.
She is very sick of it. Yes.
All right, so let's do this. Let's get into this. This is Operation Epic Freedom, which is part of Epic Fury. Okay, we got an update from Secretary Hegseth and the People's General Chairman Dean Cain. Shady Groove. Ready?
Cain.
Let's go check it out.
All right, let's do it. I'm excited about this. I did not see this yet.
Nazi.
I have to be quiet because we don't have
Don't
much
say
time.
Nazi. Don't say Nazi.
As you know, did say it a few times.
President Trump has directed U.S. Central Command to restart the free flow of commerce through the Strait of Hormuz under the umbrella of Project Freedom. To be clear, this operation is separate and distinct from Operation Epic Fury. Project Freedom is defensive in nature, focused in scope, and temporary in duration, with one mission: protecting innocent commercial shipping from Iranian aggression. American forces won't need to enter Iranian waters or airspace. It's not necessary. We're not looking for a fight, but Iran also cannot be allowed to block innocent countries and their goods from an international waterway. Iran is the clear aggressor, harassing civilian vessels, threatening mariners from every nation indiscriminately, and weaponizing a critical choke point for its own financial benefit, or at least trying to. For too long, Iran has been harassing ships, shooting at civilian tankers from all nations, and trying to impose a tolling system. Iran's plan, a form of international extortion, is unacceptable. That ends with Project Freedom. 2 U.S. commercial ships, along with American destroyers, have already safely transited the strait, showing the lane is clear. We know the Iranians are embarrassed by this fact. They said they control the strait. They do not. So American ships led the way, commercial and military, shouldering the initial risk from the front, as Americans always do. And right now, hundreds more ships from nations around the world are lining up to transit. CENTCOM, along with partner nations, is in active communication with hundreds of ships, shipping companies, and insurers. All of these ships from all around the world want to get out of the Iranian trap that they have been stuck inside. As a direct gift from the United States to the world, we have established a powerful red, white, and blue dome over the strait. American destroyers are on station, supported by hundreds of fighter jets, helicopters, drones, and surveillance aircraft, providing 24/7 overwatch for peaceful commercial vessels. Except Iran's, of course, which is why our ironclad blockade remains in full effect as well. In fact, 6 ships tried to run the blockade out of Iranian ports as Project Freedom commenced, and they were all turned around. This is more than strategy, it's also humanitarian. By breaking Iran's illegal stranglehold, we're protecting the lives and livelihoods of sailors from dozens of countries, securing global energy routes, and preventing shortages that hit the world's poorest people the hardest. Once again, America is using its strength to lift up others. Iran is trying to subjugate the world. To what remains of Iran's forces, if you attack American troops or innocent commercial shipping, you will face overwhelming and devastating American firepower. The president has been very clear about this. We prefer this to be a peaceful operation, but are locked and loaded to defend our people, our ships, our aircraft, and this mission without hesitation. To Iran, let innocent ships pass freely. These international waters belong to all nations, not to Iran to tax, toll, or control. To our partners, allies, and the rest of the world, this is a temporary mission for us. As I've said before, the world needs this waterway a lot more than we do. We're stabilizing the situation so commerce can flow again, but we expect the world to step up. At the appropriate time and soon, we will hand responsibility back to you. To the incredible Americans executing this mission right now, simply thank you. Your courage, your readiness, your unmatched professionalism and precision are why the world can breathe easier today and every day. You are and always will be the greatest fighting force in human history, unmatched always.
Commie Democrats can't breathe.
Project Freedom is underway. Commerce will be flowing, and America is once again leading with strength, clarity, and purpose for the benefit of the entire world. Our will is unshakable. God bless our troops, and God bless the mighty United States Navy as well. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. On Sunday, at the direction of the President, CENTCOM initiated Project Freedom with the objective of facilitating the safe passage of international commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Over the past 7 weeks, Iran's repeatedly threatened and attacked commercial shipping in the Strait in order to effectively cut off commercial traffic and damage the global economy. By obstructing one of the world's most critical maritime checkpoints, a vital transit route for approximately 1/5 of the global oil consumption, Iran is weaponizing the global supply chain. This action disregards established navigational rights and the law of the sea, and the regime led by the IRGC is effectively attempting to hold the entire global economy hostage. Let me give you an update of the last few days of activities, and if you take a look at the map here, as the Secretary said, the United States has established Project Freedom to open up the Strait of Hormuz. This graphic highlights the kinetic engagements that the Iranians have attempted to make or have taken against the region. The green dots and blue dots show the groupings of commercial, cargo, and tanker vessels, and the United States has established a significant presence over the strait here in order to open up the free flow of commerce, noting the blockade still continues along the eastern flank. The map shows the examples and samples of Iranian attacks against commercial vessels in the strait, as well as the Gulf of Oman and up in the Arabian Gulf. Since the ceasefire was announced, Iran has fired at commercial vessels 9 times and seized 2 container ships, and they've attacked U.S. forces more than 10 times, all below the threshold of restarting major combat operations at this point. You can also see the group of tankers and cargo vessels in the U.S. blockade line, as I mentioned. As a result of Iran's indiscriminate attacks across the region, there are currently 22,500 mariners embarked on more than 1,550 commercial vessels trapped in the Arabian Gulf, unable to transit. In addition to shipping, Iran has continued to deliberately attack its neighbors. Just yesterday, Iran attacked Oman once and the UAE 3 times, including an attack on Fujairah oil terminal, which was successfully defeated. They also launched cruise missiles, drones, small boats at U.S. forces defending commercial shipping in the Straits, and United States Navy MH-60 helicopters and Army AH-64 Apache helicopters successfully defeated those threats. Thus far, today is quieter. Let me describe this defensive operation just a few clicks down for you. As the Secretary said, Project Freedom is designed to protect commercial shipping and help restore the flow of commerce through the strait and sustain freedom of navigation. CENTCOM has established an enhanced security area on the southern side of the strait that is now protected by U.S. land, naval, and air assets to help defeat further Iranian aggression against commercial shipping. I'd like to share a little bit more about U.S. capabilities, but for operational security purposes, I'm not going to get into specific details out there. On the surface, guided missile destroyers and other warships are detecting and defeating Iranian threats. This includes fast boats and one-way attack drones. In the air, more than 100 fighters, attack aircraft, and other manned and unmanned aircraft, synchronized by the 82nd Airborne Division, are in the air 24 hours a day, providing defensive overwatch for the enhanced security area and its approaches that I discussed. These forces are comprised of over 15,000 American service members and have established localized air and sea control to protect against Iranian threats. Commercial vessels that transit through the area will see, hear, and frankly feel U.S. combat power around them on the sea, in the skies, and on the radio. And as of this morning, as was mentioned prior, 2 U.S. flag merchant vessels have transited, and we anticipate more to transit over the coming days. Further up the Gulf, U.S. Naval Forces Central Command continues to work to identify and mitigate any threats. Beyond Project Freedom, CENTCOM and the rest of the Joint Force remain ready to resume major combat operations against Iran if ordered to do so. No adversary should mistake our current restraint with a lack of resolve. And the President has said, as the Secretary has, that now is the time for those with equity stake in the strait to come assist. Before I turn it back to the Secretary, I want to take a moment to highlight part of our joint force today. And today I want to talk about the paratroopers of the United States Army 82nd Airborne Division. When the President or the Secretary need immediate, scalable, and lethal combat power in CENTCOM or elsewhere, the All-American Division answers the call. The 82nd is the core of our nation's immediate response force and ready to deploy within hours of notice. These paratroopers are capable of accomplishing any mission in any environment, constantly training, constantly ready to jump from Air Force aircraft into ground combat and seize key terrain if ordered to do so, just like their predecessors did in Sicily and Normandy in World War II, or to secure or enable the follow-on forces to flow into theater as they did in Grenada or Panama. They can do the range of missions from counterinsurgency to counterterrorism operations to power projection, as they have many times over the course of the history of this great division. They can do all these things because they're incredibly well trained, well equipped, and well led, but also because of the indomitable spirit of the All-American paratrooper. Every single one of them volunteered for this role, volunteered to go to airborne training, and volunteered to serve. But this division is now more than just a formation that we use for forcible entries. For example, just today, they are out there coordinating, integrating, and synchronizing land, air, space, sea, and cyber forces using joint all-domain command and control. They use next-generation tactical networks that are AI-enabled to augment intelligence and operations, and they seamlessly synchronize all of these effects and are doing so in support of Project Freedom as we speak. The relentless focus on technical innovation allows the commanders out there in the field to see, sense, and understand the opportunities that are in front of them, along with the associated risks, and make smart decisions out on the objective. With incredible courage, tenacity, and grit, they are going all the way every day, and whenever the nation calls on them, they are there to answer the call. We are grateful for their service and their leadership. Lastly, before I close, as I often do, I want to remember some of our fallen. Today we remember Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Brianna Moffett, and Specialist Kennedy Sanders of the 718th Engineering Company, U.S. Army Reserves, out of Fort Benning, Georgia. They were tragically killed on January 28th, 2024, when attacked by an Iranian-backed proxy force at Tower 22 in Jordan. We continue to carry on their memories. We remember their names. We remember their families. And the Secretary and I are deeply grateful for all of our deployed forces who are out there doing our nation's work. And sir, with that, I'll kick it back over to you.
Very good. We'll take a few questions. Go ahead.
Thank you. Alexandra Ingersoll, One America News. Do you assess, Mr. Secretary, do you assess what's left of this small boat fleet to be a significant threat or a nuisance to be managed? And then secondly, what is your message to critics who say that the U.S. doesn't have a strategy in this mission?
Well, any threat needs to be taken seriously. And just like those 6 attack boats that the chairman mentioned were taken seriously and dealt with before there were any real threat to the American military vessels that they were approaching. And that is small craft like that are all that Iran has left. Their ability to close with a destroyer of the capabilities that we have is limited, but we're going to take it very seriously. And kinetically, quickly. We're not going to allow a threat to gather. And I can tell you, even from just this morning, the strategy remains laser focused. In fact, what I think you see from Project Freedom is that we're not allowing ourselves to get distracted. This is a separate and distinct effort, temporary in nature, that we plan to hand over to the world. The world has expressed a desire to be a part of this. As is often the case, or maybe almost always the case, American leadership is required. So the president was willing to undertake this, send commercial ships through, send destroyers in, provide this red, white, and blue bubble of protection, and encourage the world to step up. Because ultimately, this waterway is, as I said, far more crucial to the rest of the world, and they need to have the ability to defend it. So I think this is a reflection of a laser-focused strategy, actually, right here.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman. David Zia, Real America's Voice. I wanted to ask you, of any of the fast boats that have been either sunk or identified, are there any armaments larger than, say, small, AK-47 type stuff, or any anti-ship cruise missiles identified? And my second question is, if there's a divide between the IRGC and Tehran, is there a way to get Tehran to agree to let us go after the IRGC that is doing these attacks without violating the ceasefire?
Well, right now, anything coming at our crafts, regardless of what's on it, has to be defended against, and that's the case. I don't know what the exact armaments were on those fast boats.
Small arms, nothing significant on the fast boats.
Rifles or small machine guns. There were some small coastal cruise missiles shot down as well. So there's been I think
Could you pause this just a second, Jeff?
In the beginning aspects of this that were.
I just want to jump in here real quick because it's very interesting, the stuff that he's saying there. I haven't seen this, but I have seen all the idiots on Twitter or on X, whatever you want to call it, yelling yesterday. All of InfoWars was a flutter yesterday, or whatever. Alex Jones Network telling me that Iran had hit American ships with bigger than small arms fire yesterday. That's what they're saying. Literally taking it directly from the Iranian propagandist IRGC, who are putting out that they were able to hit an American vessel yesterday. So then Alex Jones and all of the idiot sycophants jump online and go out there and tout that really happened. Again, we're seeing them put forward propaganda from this regime. This is no different than what Norah O'Donnell did during the interview with Donald Trump, where she's reading off the dumb manifesto. You're promoting BS. You're literally like setting people up to understand things in a way that's absolutely backwards from the way that they're supposed to get it. Iran has not hit any American ships with any type of missiles, no matter how often or how much Alex Jones wants to believe that is true.
Dealt with very directly by our destroyers, and we're communicating both overtly and quietly to the Iranians to allow this defensive operation to happen on behalf of the world. There are some actions the IRGC takes sometimes that are outside the bounds of what maybe Iranian negotiators would like. That's their job to rein that in and ultimately create a condition for a deal, right? That's not something I talked about in these remarks, but that's happening in real time. Iran has an ability to make that deal, but what we're demonstrating with Project Freedom is they don't control the strait. I mean, we know Iran is embarrassed by the fact that our blockade is holding, and we can run ships through, and we're going to help the world run ships through. And if they hold it at issue, the whole world knows who's doing it. It's not us. We're willing to open it up. It's Iran, and that creates a dilemma for them. We hope they make a deal. Yes.
Thank you, sir. My first question is for General Kane. Mary Margaret with the Daily Wire. You said that the attacks by Iran so far are below the threshold of restarting major combat operations. What is that threshold? And then for Secretary Hegseth, are there still concerns about mines in the Strait? And can you kind of clarify these reports of kamikaze dolphins that we've heard about?
I haven't heard the kamikaze dolphin thing. It's like sharks with laser beams, right? The threshold of restarting is a political decision above my pay grade. What I'll say is it's low harassing fire right now. It feels like Iran is grasping at straws to try to do something across the southern flank. To your question, David, their command and control structure remains very fractured, and I think they're struggling to maintain control down echelon at the edge, but it's still pretty low level kinetics at this point in time.
And I can't confirm or deny whether we have kamikaze dolphins, but I can confirm ultimately any follow-on effort, if there are mines identified, would be something that some of our units could undertake or the world could undertake. But right now we know we have a lane of safe passage that commercial shipping can flow through.
Thank you, Secretary Hegseth. Last 24 hours or so, Iran's fired at us, we fired at Iran. I'm just going to ask you more directly, is the ceasefire over?
No, the ceasefire is not over. Ultimately, this is a separate and distinct project, and we expected there would be some churn at the beginning, which happened. And we said we would defend aggressively, and we absolutely have. Iran knows that. And ultimately, the president's going to make a decision whether anything were to escalate into a violation of a ceasefire. But certainly we would urge Iran to be prudent in the actions that they take to keep that underneath this threshold. This is about the straits. This is about freedom of navigation. This is about international waterways. This is about free flow of commerce, all the things that happened before, and only Iran is contesting. So right now the ceasefire certainly holds, but we're going to be watching very, very closely. Absolutely.
Secretary
James, go ahead.
Mr. Secretary, thank you. General, thank you. I want to first express my gratitude and admiration for the work you do and for everyone involved in our armed forces, and also for the accomplishments of Operation Epic Fury, which I think are too often dismissed too lightly. But those accomplishments don't obscure, I think, a central default that has occurred here, and I would like you both to address it. On the first day of this conflict, President Trump addressed the Iranian people directly and said, "When we're finished, take over your government. It'll be yours to take." And then on the seventh day of the conflict, in a Truth Social post, the president said, quote, "There will be no deal with Iran except, all caps, exclamation mark, unconditional surrender." What happens to that pledge to the Iranians? And when did the president decide to capitulate on his demand for unconditional surrender?
I wouldn't. You started out nicely, but you ended
He
exactly
failed
where we
miserably.
would end. The president hasn't capitulated on anything. He holds the cards. We maintain the upper hand, and Project Freedom only strengthens that hand. And so he will ensure that whatever deal is made or whatever end state is reached creates. Ensuring that Iran never has a nuclear weapon, which is number one, and he's been focused on that, and the deal and discussions are centered on that. And what the Iranian people take advantage of after the fact is up to them, and he's been very clear about that. And maybe you do it now, maybe it happens later, but ultimately he's also been clear, we're not going to entangle this into some nation-building project. Our objectives are clear. They've been pursued from day one. Hopefully the Iranian people take advantage of that because they're being taken advantage of by this regime. As you know, 45,000 Iranians, innocent Iranians, killed before the outset of this. That's what this government does, kills their own innocent civilians. Getting out from underneath that is going to be a challenge of the Iranian people, and we certainly hope they take advantage of that. Thank you.
Can I have one follow, please?
Go ahead. Everybody else
one follow.
follows directives. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Can you share any information regarding the South Korean ship that was reportedly hit by Iran? Is Seoul in contact with the U.S. military about it? And is there any indication that they would heed Trump's call made on social media to join Project Freedom?
We hope so. We're in contact with that ship, CENTCOM, I should say, and the Maritime Coordination Forces are in touch. And I think targeting like that is a reflection of the indiscriminate nature of what Iran is doing. We hope South Korea would step up, just like we hope Japan would step up, just like we hope Australia would step up, just like we hope Europe steps up. But we're not waiting for them to do so. We're looking to set the conditions to hand to them. But the president was clear in his truth message that, hey, this is your ship. You should take part in helping to defend it. We very much hope they do. James, go ahead.
Mr. Secretary, in terms of new U.S. intelligence reports suggest that the timeline for the war in Iran to get a nuclear weapon has not changed since last summer, still at 9 to 12 months. Is that intelligence wrong? How can this be after so much bombing? And for General Kane, going on back onto what you're talking about, the Strait of Hormuz, the president recently said that the blockade is even more effective than bombing. So why didn't we start the campaign with the blockade? And initially, how many planned ships do you plan to escort or take through commercial ships to the Strait of Hormuz today or in the coming days?
Yeah, try to set up a blockade before you take out their missiles. What an idiot.
Let's take a look at this guy. Look at his tie showing, his collar's up. What is this comb over thing going here?
I'm not sure what's going on with any of that, sir. But he doesn't understand that you can't put a bunch of ships out there in the water whenever these idiots still have long-range missiles.
I mean, is he Iranian media? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, that might be like a General Flynn flunky right there. Flynn flax.
Well, we don't discuss the specifics about intel, and anybody that does shouldn't be, and I can't confirm or deny whether that is indeed correct. Speculation, as far as I'm concerned, coming from you. But ultimately, what Operation Midnight Hammer did in the obliteration of those facilities was set back their program. And then, because of the efforts of that 12-day war, the president was able to recognize that this threat, while they continued to seek nuclear capabilities, their will was still there to seek a nuclear bomb. Ultimately, they were creating a conventional umbrella of so many missiles and so many capabilities that no one would want to challenge them. Think of the North Korea. This is the North Korea strategy. We have so many conventional capabilities, you won't do something about it. And underneath that, we're going to develop more nuclear capabilities. So the will was still there. President Trump had the courage to say we have to dismantle and take on those conventional capabilities while the nuclear facilities are watched 24/7 and overwatched. And we will ensure one way or another, hopefully Iran disheveled deal, that they give up those ambitions, give up those capabilities, and we're able to confirm that every step of the way. So that has been, President Trump's been focused on it. He's set them back like no other president. He ripped up the terrible deal that would have given them a bomb. He took care of it in Midnight Hammer. We're watching it right now, and ultimately feel good about the fact that the end state will ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon.
Biblical.
Sir, I'll let CENTCOM talk to the number of ships they're going to take through because they're the nearest ones to talking to the commercial shippers, and I don't want to get out in front of them. On the order and sequence around the military objectives, that's a decision the President and the Secretary go get us at, and at the time we were focused on the primary objectives that were in front of us. Thank you.
Ryan Morgan with the Epic Times. On Friday, President Trump notified Congress that the hostilities that began on February 28 had terminated. That came on the deadline of the 60-day war powers deadline. Will this administration be seeking congressional approval for any further military operations if the ceasefire breaks down?
Why?
Our view is the one you described, that ultimately with the ceasefire, the clock stops. If it were to restart, that would be the president's decision. That option is always there, and Iran knows that, and that's why their choices in Project Freedom are important. The president retains the opportunity and the capabilities, more capabilities than we had at the start of this, to restart major combat operations if necessary. If Iran is not willing to follow through on its side of the bargain or make a deal, then the War Department is postured, locked, loaded, and ready to go. We hope it doesn't have to go in that direction, but Admiral Cooper and our forces are in a three-point stance and ready to go. Yeah, last question.
Thank you. Liam Cosgrove with Zero Hedge. In recent weeks, both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel's head of Mossad have stated their intent not to cease combat with the Iranians. Netanyahu put this on Twitter. Israel's head of Mossad said Israel's goals are not finished until the Iranian government collapses. And so they're referring to the government that President Trump has brokered a ceasefire with and is working on a lasting peace in the region with. And so that's something many Americans, especially American farmers, are hoping he does get to a lasting peace. And so if President Trump is successful in that and the Israelis are explicitly stating their intent to continue fighting at a later date, how can you ensure America doesn't get roped back into a war if that comes? And secondly, with Netanyahu comfortable tweeting something like that out, and also Netanyahu has continued bombing Lebanon despite President Trump explicitly telling him not to.
I would say your question is based on the false premise that somehow President Trump is being pulled in by Prime Minister Netanyahu to any of these actions. And
Democrat talking points.
Just to be clear, President Trump has led at every step of this based on his view of American interest and America first. And we're grateful that Israelis have been very capable partners at many steps of this, and they may have some objectives at times that are slightly different than ours. But there's only one hand on the wheel ultimately directing this, whether it's Project Freedom or previously Operation Epic Fury, and it's President Trump. So we're grateful for their input, their insights, the existential nature of the threat they face from an Iranian bomb, the capabilities that they can bring to that, but ultimately the coordination will happen with the leadership of President Trump. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
But Netanyahu, shady.
That sounds like the same type of concern that's coming from the woke Reich, sir.
And that guy was from Tyler's paper. What was it called?
Zero Hedge, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Zero
They all
hedge.
got to run a narrative. See, the news media, Jeff, they can't report the news. That would not be good. If they reported the news, that means they'd have to look at what's going on and tell you what's going on. They got to do something completely different. They got to generate it.
Yeah. They got to generate narratives to divide you.
While they tell you that you need to be syncing up with the communists that they represent.
Right.
Yes.
Not gonna have that.
Foreign funded communists. Let's foreign funded communists.
Yeah, foreign and domestic billionaire.
Yep. Communists.
Commies.
Not syncing up with them.
No.
No, you could if you try to get along with them, they stab you in the back.
That's right. So, Shady Groove, we learned a little bit about what's going on today with Operation Freedom. Thank you very much to our wonderful Department of War Secretary Hegseth and Dean General, the People's General Kane. I love that guy, Shady Groove, and I love our administration. And we're about ready to wrap up this hour. But we also learned about how the black population is actually coming to grips with and leaving the Democrat plantation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a evolving, ever-evolving Q-proof. Just imagine, when the Democrats find out, that the Democrats voted against all people voting. They formulated the KKK. Black people in Texas started the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just really funny what they're trying to get you to believe.
And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The MG Show, where psyops go to die.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Smash that like for the MG Show. Subscribe now. Ring that bell. Let's go.
Hello? Hello? Okay.
Hillary smiling with Biden cheek to cheek. Praising Robert Byrd, that KKK freak. From the Senate floor to Secretary of State, she leaned on the exalted Cyclops, sealing our fate. But history don't lie when you read the page. Republicans stood tall, turn the freedom page. 13th Amendment, slavery gone. 100% Republican, Democrats said no. 14th citizenship for the freed, 94% go. Pedums wouldn't lead. 15th, every man a vote. 100% Republican, Democrats choked. They flipped the script now, call us a racist. Unity really chains off the plantation and welfare dependency. MLK was conservative, dreaming of content of character. Now Pelosi drops his name like some scripted matter. Net worth the leader sky high while the hood stays broke. Trump in 1 year did more jobs, open scope. They tear down statues, rewrite every book. Projections are game, take a hard look. 13th Amendment, slavery gone. 100% Republican, Democrats said no. 14th citizenship for the freed, 94% go. Pedants wouldn't lead. 15th, every man a vote. 100% Republican, Democrats choked. They flipped the script now, call us a racist, but we know the truth. It's Democrat places. MSM brainwashed, keep us divided by skin. They want us dependent, controlled, and given. But patriots rise, no color, just red, white, blue. Together we're strong, apart we're through. Reread the grip, break the slave mind hold. It's time for the republic, make America truth in the amendments, carved in stone. Republicans freed them, Democrats own. No more division, no more the lies. Patriots unite under God and skies. Fight for freedom, the MAGA way. America first, every single day. It's time to learn the truth. It's time to learn the truth. Patriots are no skin color. Together we are strong. MAGA forever.
Yeah. MAGA forever.
And ever and ever.
Forever.
Forever.
And InfoWars is dead.
InfoWars is dead as a coffin nail, sir.
Yeah, baby. And, I love how you guys like, oh, look at the video. It's AI, guys. What do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really us, just letting you know, okay?
I didn't actually go to Florida and film that.
But I hope you're enjoying it because I am. And yes, AI makes me look older. My legs disappear. Shady's guitar disappears. I get it. That way you know it's AI. Nothing gets past you guys. Nothing.
Yeah. They're unpsyopable, friend.
I know.
Matter of fact, that's the reason that we can do this. If we were like doing this in front of a regular audience, like they wouldn't be able to tolerate it. They're like heads would be exploding every day. It's like you know how they look at Trump and they take everything literal. Imagine these people trying to watch the show.
Oh my God. Perkins Joe Ray says, "I want perfection."
Da, da, da.
Well. We're trying. We're trying.
You might have found the wrong place.
Yeah, sorry, Joe Ray. By the way,
Look
Joe
at who
Ray
he's
wants
dealing with here.
Joe Ray wants to thank everybody who donated to her campaign. Thank you very much for that, Joe Ray. Good luck in the primaries there in Oregon. Isn't there an update in Oregon, Shady Groove, with 800,000?
800,000 people have been removed from the voter rolls supposedly in Oregon. So just to give you an idea what that means, Oregon is one of the biggest states per volume of land mass, but only about 5 million, 4.6, 4.7, something like that million people live here that are counted. Yeah, Jeff, only 3.2 million
percentage.
Only 3.2 of them are registered to vote, sir, and they just outed 800,000 people off of the voter rolls here in the state of Oregon. So I feel like that is a pretty significant reality, considering the way that we supported Joe Ray 2 other times running for office, and both times we witnessed this unbelievable anomaly about no matter how many votes that she got, she wouldn't be able to gain on the person that already had a 300,000 vote lead.
Huh. That's odd. And they're probably all fake.
Take away 800,000 votes and you might have a competition.
That's it. G Brothers, thank you for the subscription. Jersey Talks 5 subscriptions. And I know I missed KX2 and some others, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting the show. We are very loose right now on, any donation you guys can do. Thank you, because we are in another month. It is 5/5 on Taco Tuesday, Shady Groove. It's Cinco de Mayo on Taco Tuesday.
Is it 2 for Taco Tuesday or just Taco Tuesday?
It's just one.
Just one taco?
You want 2 for Tuesday?
I thought that 2 for was Tuesday. It's 2 for
All right, let's do 2 for Tuesday. Here we go. You ready?
What the hell?
Since President Trump confirmed stochastic terrorism.
Talk us into it.
They call it stochastic, remote control rage. MSM pumps the poison, turns the weak into slaves. Years of Hitler, Trump, threat to democracy. Pedophile, rapist, traded the daily fantasy. From my timeline, I wanted straight facts, no cap. Mass comes plus demonization equals a predictable attack. Blowback's a bitch when the lies come home to roost. Now their own dinner party's the scene of the coup. Stochastic terrorism, blood on the fake news hands. False narratives firing from CNN's command. They radicalize the unstable, then act all surprised. But we see the shooters, we know who supplied the lies. Trump stands tall, fist raised, bullet couldn't stop the man. MAGA's unbreakable, drain the swamp, that's the plan. America first forever, legacy media's done. Your stochastic terror just made us stronger. Sons of guns. Thomas Matthew Crooks, Butler, July 2024. Rifle in hand, grace the ear of the man we adore. Registered Republican act, blue cash in his name. Bought the threat to democracy, played the deadly game. Ryan Wesley Ruth, golf course, September 2024. Rifle ready, at Mar-a-Lago, hate treaty war. Anti-Trump pose, Ukraine fixation for left-wing fever. Believed every Russia hoax, every pedo believer. Cole Thomas Allen Lee, SED, April 2020. Sees him donor, Kamala Cash, teacher from Torrance, California. Brew, shotgun, handgun, knives. Manifesto crystal clear, pedophile, rapist, traitor, the exact spears we hear. Friendly federal assassin targeting Trump's whole team. From highest to lowest, straight from the CNN dream. Signed off ready to slaughter staff just to get through. Radicalizing the echo chamber exactly as I told you. Obama says we don't know motive. Gaslighting king, manifesto screams the lies his media machine brings. SPLC hate machine pays to stir the pot. Jim Jordan drops the truth, third attempt connect the dots. Parkland drills false flags, they've run this script before. But Trump's still standing, fighting for the Republic's core. No more hiding behind stochastic, call it what it is. Domestic terror by legacy liars, pure political beat. Stochastic terrorism, blood on the fake news hands. False narratives firing from CNN's command. They radicalize the unstable, then act all surprised. But we name the shooters, we know who supplied the lies. Trump 2028, unbreakable fist in the air. MAGA's winning, exposing the real domestic scare. Drain the swamp, silence the liar, sovereignty restored. Make America great and patriots, we're never ignored. We're never ignored.
Wow. Always right until we're wrong, Shady Groove. Wow. So wrote that song. First time I said it was on 9/11/2025 about stochastic terrorism. Trump posted a video yesterday. It was a 10-minute or so video, but I clipped out the little part saying stochastic terrorism. So Trump, Q+, confirmed stochastic terrorism, guys.
I'd really like to thank Arnold Schwarzenegger for lending us his presence to do that little quick video. The AI's morphing you into Arnold. It's looking pretty good.
You got the problem with that?
I have a problem. I don't have a problem.
Answer the question.
With that.
I'll be back.
You'll be
You should
back.
see in the other video, this one this one here. Here. Look at this
I know,
one.
it did it in that one too.
Watch this.
It looked good at the beginning and then you turn into Arnold. Yeah.
Now that's literally Arnold, dude.
It literally kind of tries to morph you into it. It's pretty funny.
I mean, is that a complaint or is that a compliment? The AI thinks I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I thought it was trying to compliment you, man. I mean, but we just don't know with depends on if it was woke AI or not.
Right. It's all
it
AI.
Could be inverted messaging. I mean, at this point now we have to understand the AI inverted messaging, which is becoming a bit complicated.
Yeah, it is. What was that guy's name? I want to get to the next portion of our show, Shady Grove.
So while you're grabbing that, I'd just like to just go over with you guys for just a moment about just to kind of wrap up the last segment of the show and a little bit of what the dynamic of these people that are talking to you that are trying to wither you down or make you what they're trying to do is they're trying to make you war weary. You were war weary after about 3 years in Iraq or 10 years in Afghanistan.
I'm joined now by
they're trying to make you war weary after 6 weeks, effectively, by saying all of this absolute nonsense. The reality of the situation is here, guys. I just want to paint this picture real quick so you can understand what excellence and exceptionalism looks like. What we have effectively done is we went in there and we destroyed all of the stuff that their infrastructure was in Iran so that they couldn't fire long-range missiles and really make a big mess. Then we went in there and we set up a blockade to stop their oil from being able to get out, because if we stop their oil from being able to get out, then they won't be able to bring in any revenue. Then what we did was we waited after the blockade, and after X amount of days, the people of the world came to America and they were like, "Hey, America, we have our ships stuck over there, and we'd like to get our ships out of there somehow. If maybe you could help us." Country comes to America, and then we say, "Okay, yeah, we're willing to help you escort your ships and stuff out of there." And then whenever they start to do that, you start to see small arms fire come in on these ships from the shores. What you have to understand is, to some degree, we've taken out all of their massive infrastructure. And now every single time that these people, whether it be from a ship, from the shore, from a mountain, from a gun turret somewhere, whatever, no matter what it is that is fired, even machine gun fire from the land or a boat from the country of Iran, is going to be immediately noticed, pinpointed, and destroyed. So effectively, Iran knows now that anytime they shoot anything, whether it be missile, rocket launcher, AK-47, whatever type of projectiles are being shot, we're using the technology in real time to pinpoint that exact location and destroy it. So they know that if they shoot, they get destroyed. At some point, the people are going to realize this dynamic and understand that if they participate with what the IRGC is telling them to do, it's going to get them murdered by America. So you have to understand, this is South Korea, Japan, all these other countries. They have ships stuck in there too. And Donald Trump has just started within this last week. He pulled 5,000 troops out of Germany. I think he's getting ready to make a bigger pull. I think he's getting ready to pull a huge amount of the American troops out of Germany, and I think he's getting ready to pull a huge amount of American troops out of South Korea as a statement to these people that we are a little bit sick and tired of you standing there and taking in all of the upside of Americans protecting you and not standing with us when there's a little bit of a downside.
I agree with you. So to remind you, we're going to play this full 1 hour and 17-minute video, or 1 hour and 17 seconds. You ready, Shady?
I'm ready. Let's go. Roll it.
Winning it, 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 winning it,
we only got an hour left. Winning, guys. You know, you're winning in real life, not on fake news, deep dream, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, guys. Quit the doom scrolling. Realize what your president is doing. Understand economics. Understand the Hormuz Strait. Understand why they're not coming, because they're involved with the scam. Understand, guys, the plan has been all along. I got a great question the other day. How come the Q proofs are necessary today or relevant today when Q hasn't posted in a long time? Because they screwed him in the term number 1, guys. And now he's got the cabinet that he needs. He's got the people that he needs. And we are winning it, winning it, winning it, winning it all over again and just winning. And these people that are screaming the loudest, infiltrators, okay? Infiltration, not invasion. They're not winning it, winning. They're not winning, Shady.
We know, I mean, and you know, even to add a little bit to what you're saying there, I almost feel like we wouldn't be winning it. We wouldn't be winning it the same way if we didn't have 4 years of Joe Biden. Oh, what are you saying, Shady? Oh my God. Listen, think about the way, like, do you think that, like look at the way that the American public were adversarial to Donald Trump in Trump version 1, compared to the way that the American people, even the silent majority, are not adversarial at all with Donald Trump right now. Why is that? Why are the woke right lighting their hair on fire? Why are all these people acting like they speak for you lighting their hair on fire? But in all reality, everybody is going down the line with what he's telling them to do, whether it be Robert Kennedy Jr., Lee Zeldin, Pete Hegseth. All of these people are following exactly what their president is telling them to do in unison, unlike what we saw in version 1. I would put forward that to some degree, Q understood that there was going to be a gap, because Q came maybe even to tell us that there was going to be a gap.
That's right. We got a nice comment, Trip the Switch. Oh, somebody removed it. Why do you remove it? Saying this is a boomer cult show. I am a Gen Xer, all right? I am Gen X and proud of it, Shady Groove. And you know what? We're winning it. Third day.
Every single day.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are so funny. You know, let's go over to President Trump, his latest interview last night with Hugh Hewitt. He returns to the Hugh Hewitt show. It's pretty good, Shady. I like to hear from my president, not Candace Owens or Info Blows or whatever they're called.
They are really, listen, much like what happened to Democrats in the 2024 election, at the end of the 2024 election, what you saw happen to them, what happened to the Democrat Party. Look at where the Democrat Party is here a little over a year and a half later. There is no difference between what happened to the Democrat Party and what we're currently doing to the Alex Jones network. This is the exact same thing. This is the same thing you saw from 2016 to 2024 happening again with different people at the helm. They think you will follow the stars. They being them. They being the puppeteers. They don't think like you. They think like themselves. Remember yesterday we were talking about the word bidding. Oh, he's doing their bidding. That's mafia speak. The word 86. That's mafia speak. These people think that they have the right to rule you.
Yep. And they don't.
No, they don't. As a matter of fact, they have quite the opposite of that.
Yeah, that's right. All right, here we go. President Trump.
I'm joined now by the President of the United States. President Trump, welcome back. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I was filling people in on the fact that you offered very nicely Project Freedom. The Iranians started firing off like Yosemite Sam at UAE and everybody. So I gather, are we at the beginning of the end of a new war? Are we starting over?
Well, one way or the other, we win. We either make the right deal or we win very easily from the military standpoint. We've already won that. You've heard me say it a million times, and other people say it. They had 159 ships. Now they have none. They're all at the bottom of the sea. Today we took out 8 of their, they're reduced to these small little fast ships. Right. They're very cheap, and they attach a machine gun to it. They think that's good. We knocked out 8 of them today. and everyone that was available got knocked out very quickly and very efficiently. And so we'll see what happens. I mean, it's hard to believe that they would do that. You know, the one ship that was hit was, and I haven't seen it in a little while because I was with the Small Business Owners of America for the last 2 hours. We're having a good time. They're doing fantastic. Everybody's doing fantastically, all businesses right now in the country. Stock market's at a new high despite this. But I will say that one way or the other, we have one thing. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
And now, Mr. President, you've killed a lot of their leaders. Do you think you have to kill the D team as well? Because we're down to the D team or the E team or the X team. I don't even know who's running the country. Do you have to wipe them out?
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, a lot of people aren't really looking for that job. They have. We knocked out their first team. We knocked out their second team. We knocked out half of their third team. A lot of people aren't looking for that job, but I find them to be far superior than the first group. Okay, the first group was totally out of control and was doing the wrong thing for their country. But I think we'll see what happens. The one thing I will say is they talk a lot differently when they're talking to me than they talk when they're talking to the media or the televiation set. It's a lot different. You know,
their propaganda is terrible. Now, I was talking to Ambassador Oren.
They're looking to do a job, and they get on television, they say the exact opposite. Do you remember I was telling you that they want to make a deal, that they're talking, and they denied ever talking to me, and I say, what's going on over here? These guys, so they're pretty good at propaganda, I guess, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft, they have no nothing.
And you've done a good job crushing them. I was talking with Ambassador Oren, used to represent Israel, the United States. Yeah. I said, I'm going to talk to the president. What do you want me to say to him? He said, tell him to finish the job. He'll be a world historical figure. He will be up there with the greats if he takes out this regime. Do you see it that way?
Well, a lot of people have said that. A lot of very smart people. A lot of semi-moderate people have said that. Others would like to see a deal because, you know, it's a travesty when you do that, when you go that far. We've taken out much of what we'd have to do, probably another 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And time is not of the essence for us. You know, I'll say to you as a very, very highly respected guy, a lot of people think, oh, I want to do it for the midterms. I think, you know, I made a speech the other day in front of great senior citizens, unbelievable, thousands and thousands of them. And the thing that got the biggest, and then I went to Kravis Center and said the same thing in Palm Beach, a different kind of a group of people. Both of them, the thing that got the biggest hand, and you may have seen it on television, was when I said Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
That was big. The bigger was when you said these people are lunatics, because they are.
I wanted to be nice. I actually said these lunatics will not have a. Yeah. I wanted to be a little bit nicer. I wanted to clean up my act a little bit. But I said these lunatics will not have a nuclear weapon. Well, now I know you were watching. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's who they are. I have got grandkids. I understand the stakes. These people cannot, they're fanatics. They cannot have nuclear weapons. You think the country understands the stakes, Mr. President?
Well, I think they do because, you know, again, this was a pretty big sample. I'll bet we had 35,000, 40,000 people outside of the room where I was speaking, where we had, I guess it holds 5,000 or 6,000 people, and then they had another room that was packed of equal size, and they had thousands of people outside. They all went crazy when I said, and now I said no tax on tips. I said no tax on Social Security for our seniors, no tax on overtime. And, you know, that was great. But this blew it away. And then I see these fake polls that 32% of the public wants, meaning a lot more don't want. And I think they probably the way they, you know, I could ask this question a lot of different ways, but if you just said to protect our country, to protect the world, I mean, look, the Middle East, Israel in the Middle East would be wiped out within the first hour that they had it.
Correct.
And, you know, the Iran nuclear deal that was given to us by Barack Hussein Obama, that was a shortcut to a nuclear weapon. And we would not have been able to live with that if they would have used it.
The JCPOA was a guarantee. It was a guarantee that they would get a weapon. Mr. President, I want to talk about red lines.
Yes,
one of your red lines is they have to renounce having their nuclear ambition. Do we have to get back the highly enriched uranium? Is that a red line for a deal?
Yes, we do.
Do they have to stop their missile production?
And by the way, from a standpoint of value, it's not very valuable. probably can't be used. They may not be able to get it because, despite they love to say, oh, maybe these great pilots didn't do their job. In the dead of night at 1 o'clock in the morning with no moon, every single bomb went down those air shafts. It's the most incredible. Totally, I use the word obliterated, and the Atomic Energy Commission agreed with me. So people don't even know if you can get it. And by the way, if they could have gotten it, they would have gotten it. That was one of the great military maneuvers ever.
I agree. It's glowing dust, but I'd like to get it back so that they can't be tempted. Is that part of your red lines? They got to give that back to us?
No, we want it back. We want it back.
How about, is it a red line that they have to cap their missile program and have intrusive inspections?
Yeah,
because I don't trust them.
You have to look a little bit like at the neighbors. They can't have less than, they say, well, what about other people? Look, missiles are bad, but, yeah, and they do have to cap it, but this is about they cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, well, that's number one. But what about proxy? They can't keep feeding Hamas and Hezbollah
well,
and the Houthis.
They're not going to, because right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to build back their country, and it can never be the same. So if we left today. But, they have a problem coming up because they have it's a very explosive situation in a lot of different ways. Their oil, when you turn off the oil, underground, and the mechanical too, but underground has a tendency in like almost 100% of the cases to literally explode and just destroy everything around it. And you can never get that oil again. In other words, you can get back 30 to 40%, but it can never be like it is right now. It does tremendous damage to the oil system in a country if that happens.
Now, Mr. President, last time you were on,
they've run out of areas for storage.
Oh, yeah.
And they say that in 2 weeks, when they talk about time, in 2 weeks they're going to have a natural explosion of their oil that's going to make it impossible for them to really recover from.
They need a deal. Now, last time you were on, you said to the people of Iran, stay the course, help is on the way, but they murdered 40,000 of them.
Yeah.
Do you want the people of Iran to come out yet? Do you want them to stay inside?
Well, look, the problem is that you can't. If you have 5 people with a gun and 250,000, the 5 people with a gun, assuming it shoots fast enough, which they do, the 5 people they're going to win. They don't have weapons. They lost 42,000 to be exact. 42,000 people in about a 2-week protesters, innocent, unarmed protesters. They killed the wrestler. He's actually a world-class wrestler.
Yep.
They killed him and his 2 friends. They hung him from a crane in the square.
Well, they're lunatics.
So we're not dealing with, your typical people. Despite all of that, we've obliterated their military. Literally. Now they may have built up a little bit over the one bad thing about a ceasefire is you can build up a little bit. We'll knock that out. We know everything they've done. We'll knock that out in the first.
Is the ceasefire over, Mr. President? Is it over? We're going to hit them tonight?
No.
Well, I can't tell you that.
All right, that's fine.
You wouldn't. If I answered that question, you just say this man is not smart enough to be leading the United States of America.
Got to ask anyway. Got to ask. Mr. President, I'm very disappointed in Europe. I'm a big Atlanticist. I'm very disappointed in Europe. I'm glad you're taking the trips out of Germany.
Yep.
However, I'm very encouraged by Zelensky. President Zelensky sent the UAE all their anti-drone stuff. Do you feel better about Zelensky now?
Well, first of all, we have great drone stuff, and we have great anti-drone. So, when he offered he's a tricky person. He's a tricky guy, and we want to get a settlement. And, they are losing territory, but it's at a big cost to Russia and to them. And I like Zelensky. I've always sort of gotten along with him, other than the one moment in the White House, which I thought was a little aggressive on his behalf, the Oval Office. That I'm sure you perhaps remember. But I will
the Vice
say,
President.
Look,
yep.
Biden gave him $350 billion worth of money and equipment and everything else, which is ridiculous that he did that. But he did it. But and I sell them equipment full course. We sell it to the European Union. We sell it to NATO basically, and they give it out. I will say this: they fight, because whether the equipment's great or less than great, they are able to fight. And
they're better than any of our NATO allies.
Months. They've held it back for for a long
they're
time.
better than anybody in Europe in this fight. At least they're helping.
Well, Europe has been very disappointing. And one of the things that came out of our skirmish with Iran, I think, is that NATO wasn't there for us. You know, we spend trillions of dollars over a relatively short period of time on NATO. There was a time before I got here, we were paying for 100% the cost of NATO, not 80, not 50. We were paying for 100%. Now they pay more, and they also pay for their. We no longer lose money because they have the money. I say you have to pay for it. You buy missiles, you have to pay for it. They pay for it. They probably then give it over to Ukraine to use, and Ukraine uses them well. But it turned out to be a paper tiger. And when we needed NATO, you have to remember. I hope you remember. You got a lot of people listening and watching your show. I hope you remember, when we needed NATO, they were not there for us.
Oh, I'm not going to forget that.
If
That's
we have
why.
A bigger case, if we have the big one, and hopefully we never will have the big one. You know, I'm going to the big one very soon, but and I look forward to it. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. But if we ever have the big one or a bigger one, I don't believe they'd be there for us.
You're going to China. Let's talk about that, Mr. President.
Right.
You've had this back and forth with Pope Leo. I wish Pope Leo would talk about Jimmy Lai. You talk about Jimmy Lai with the chairman. Will you be bringing him up again?
I will. I brought him up, and there's a little bitterness, I would say, with him and Jimmy Lai. You know, he was Hong Kong was not as easy, but I will be bringing.
I
him
wish
up.
the Pope would. I want the Pope to talk about Jimmy Lai, and I want you to bring him home. That would be a good deal.
Well, the Pope would rather talk about the fact that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, and I don't think that's very good. I think he's endangering a lot of Catholics and a lot of people. But I guess if it's up to the Pope, he thinks it's just fine for Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
He's from Chicago. He's got to learn a few things. He's from Chicago. Let me ask you about China. What do you want out of this trip with the chairman?
So he's coming here in November or so, and we have a very good relationship. We're adversaries, but we have a very good relationship. When I took over, China was just ripping us like nobody's ever seen, and now it's the opposite. I mean, we're doing very nicely with China, but we do have a very strong relationship, and I think it's better to get along with China than it is to fight with China, and they feel the same thing. And don't kid yourself, they watched what happened in Venezuela. They watched what happened in Iran, because militarily, Iran is essentially over. You understand? I mean,
they're beaten, but you do have to get rid of that regime. You got to get the nuclear dust back.
I mean, the one thing is, look, anybody could say, "Gee, we're going to drop a couple of mines in this rather narrow channel," and claim that, gee, they have power. Remember this: they said they were going to take over the Hormuz Strait, and when we thought they might have, we took it over from them. We have control. The one thing you can't stop, if somebody's going to want to drop a little mine in the middle, and you happen to own $1 billion ship, I'm not sure you're going to be thrilled about sailing it up the harbor. So we'll see.
They'll deal with it. You're taking all their oil. You're seizing their tankers out on the Indian Ocean. Who's that oil going to go to, Mr. President? Is that for the people of Iran when you eventually sell it?
Most of it comes back into the United States. Well, the people of Iran. So, look, if they had guns, which they don't have, if they had guns, guns were sent and other people took those guns. If they had guns, they would fight back. I'm convinced of that. But, you can't have an unarmed population against people with AK-47s and stand there, even if you have 250,000 people. So, you started off by asking me, would I like to see them? And I'm very torn on it because they lost 42,000 people in the first 2 weeks. I don't really want to see that. They have to have guns, and I think they're getting some guns. As soon as they have guns, they'll fight like as good as anybody there is. But when you have people that are armed, and they have very good weapons on the other side. Now, they've been depleted. A lot of the people fighting don't want to fight anymore. They're not getting paid anymore, from what I'm hearing, because we have obliterated them like in the military. We've done the same thing to them financially, economically. We don't think they're paying their soldiers and their guard anymore. So they've got a lot of problems. We'll see what happens. We have
any signs that the regular army Any signs that the regular army might march in and take over from the fanatics? They do have the regular army.
I guess things, we purposely have not gone after them too much because we think that they're much more moderate, actually. You know what I mean. They're a much more moderate group, and we're not looking to decimate the army. When they did Iraq, and the worst thing was they got rid of all the leaders, so nobody knew who the leader was, and then all of a sudden you had ISIS. We don't want to do that. The people running Venezuela right now, it's running incredibly, actually. It's so smooth. We've taken out many times in money, many times the cost of the war, of prosecuting the war in Venezuela. And when was the last time you heard that? And when I say many times, like 25 times. And we get along great with the people. They respect us. They listen to us. And, Venezuela it's a happy country again. The people are happy. We have all the big oil companies moving in, spending a lot of money building rigs because their rigs were all depleted and gone, rusted out, closed for years and years.
Very serious question, Mr. President. Are you going to do for Cuba what you've done for Venezuela, bring in new leadership and free those people up to be happy again? Is Cuba on the line?
I don't really talk about Cuba too much other than to say that perhaps on the way back from Iran, as we finish that one, you'd like to do one after the other, right? But we'll stop the Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, the most gorgeous carrier I've ever seen. We'll stop the Abraham Lincoln a couple of 100 yards offshore, and we'll watch them wanting to do something. No, the people in Cuba, the country is devastated right now. It's just devastated. So it would be an honor to free it up. I got all the Cuban vote. I got 94% of the Cuban vote in the U.S., and I have an obligation, frankly, to do something. It's what they did to the Cubans, what they did to the families of the people that are living in the United States is unthinkable. Very much like Iran in that way.
Now, Mr. President, before I run out of time, I want to ask you about the attempt on your life. And everyone who's listening, very grateful, very prayerful that you were not harmed. There have been 4 attempts on your life. First of all, I'm not going to ask you about the Shooter's Manifesto. I can't believe Norah O'Donnell did that. That was rehearsed, of course. They wanted you to walk off. Did you think about walking off?
No, because then you make it a bigger story, actually. She's terrible. She's interviewed me before. She's a regular person that gets paid a lot of money. She's no different. I could get any woman off the street, practically, and they would do just as good a job as her. There's nothing special. And actually, as soon as she said the word manifesto, I said, here we go with the nonsense again. This is a sick guy, a really sick guy, a deranged guy, and he writes stuff. And I was none of those things and was never proven to be one of those things. And that you would say that was disgusting. And the problem with walking off, it's like it becomes a bigger story. And you don't want to have that.
I figure. Well, I was on Saturday with Aisha over on Fox, and she asked me, what about the Democrats? Because of Graham Plattner, and they got the El Sayed guy in Michigan and the Flanagan lady in Minnesota. I said, I think this is a direct quote, President Trump has broken the Democrats. I think they've lost the thread about serving the working man. Have you done that? Do you think you've broken the Democrats?
Well, I don't want to be the one to say it, but there is such a thing as Trump derangement syndrome, and nobody's seen ever anything like it. And part of it because we've really done well. Look at our stock market. It's at an all-time high in the middle of what some people could consider a war, okay? I don't consider it a big one, but it's still a war. And our stock market's at an all-time high. More people are working in the United States right now than at any time in the history of our country. And I could go list after list. We're drilling more oil. We are now doing more oil than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that. And very importantly, one of the reasons when I first did this, I thought maybe the market would go down 20 or 25%. And I was okay with that because I know it would come back up. But I thought it would go down, and I thought oil could hit $200, $250. Well, oil's at $100, $102, and you did too. Most people did. You know what? The genius of the whole thing is people have found ways around the Hormuz Strait. They're heading up to Texas. They're heading up to Alaska. They're heading up to Louisiana, and you see it. We see it through satellite. There are ships all over the ocean coming up. They find it. They find ways of just you can't go to Hormuz. They find it. Well, let's go to Texas. So it's just really sort of an amazing thing. They find ways of getting it done. So it's not going to be at 250 and 300. And the stock market, again, the stock market's at a record high.
And I think Republicans have got to put their arms around this and say, we've got to win in Iran. We're not worried about the midterms. Are you worried about the midterms? Because it's so much more important to win.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is that, I've gotten such, I won the Hispanic vote. Look at the votes I got. I got votes, and also I got traditional Republican, but I got votes that really have, along the Texas border. I won every single city and town along the Texas border to Mexico. No Republican has ever won one town. So the question is it transformable? And I will tell you, and I don't know your view on this. I listened to you, but I don't know your view on this, and I don't know why. But they have to terminate the filibuster so we can approve things.
Oh, we disagree, Mr. President. We disagree. We won't waste time on that. I'm afraid the Democrats will pack the Supreme Court.
I know, but let me just ask you. The Democrats are going to do it, right?
No, I don't think they will. They say they talk a good game, but they don't deliver. They're not like you.
I think I'd win a lot of money from you, but that's okay. I don't mind if you say that, but
They have websites saying they're going to do it, Hugh. I mean, why don't you do a little research? You little Anderson Cooper lookalike freak.
Well, I mean, to some degree, a little bit of that is just this in general idea that Democrats are going to get power again.
Right.
Like that Democrats are not going to get power again. I'm sorry to inform you, everyone, but the way this plays out, remember, we're only a little over a year into this. These guys have to survive us for another 2.5+ years. And, they're already like sold everything that was their credit, everything that was known as their credibility right down the river. So, what are these people going to do? You really think that Marjorie Taylor Greene or Tucker Carlson are going to win offices in higher up politics in America? I doubt it.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, if you go to Hillary's own website, it's on there. What was that guy's name that looks like Eddie Murphy from that one movie when he's big? Elijah.
The guy with the gray hair?
Yeah. It looks like buckwheat.
He totally looks like the guy that's talking about wiping his butt with the Constitution or something.
Yeah, that guy.
Guy. I don't remember his name out of on purposeful disrespect.
But they do want to do it, guys. That's what they want to do. Okay. All right. So back to President Trump. We're almost done. Check it out.
Very surprised at you because I thought you were a brilliant man.
Well, I've always been for the filibuster. I'll argue it out with you, but more important than people hear your.
They have to do the Save America Act, and if they do the filibuster, they do the Save America. And you have to have voter ID, and you have to have proof of citizenship.
I'm for that. I just want to win 60 Senate seats and do that. If we lose the House, Mr. President, they will impeach you. Does it bother you? They'll impeach you 4 times. Does that bother you?
Well, they'll impeach me like they did the last time, and now they want to overturn those impeachments because there was total nonsense. And what we've learned, even since, and look at all the stuff that's coming out now about all these people. It's a corrupt group of people, and the Republicans play much nicer. Okay,
yes, we
they
do.
don't go around impeaching somebody. Joe Biden should be impeached. What he did was so bad. Now, in the case of Biden, he had no idea he was doing it. All right,
he should have been removed from office under the 25th.
With the Biden administration, he had some very smart lunatics circling him around that beautiful, as you know, the beautiful Oval Office and that incredible desk I sit behind. Hey, look, he had smart people, really radical left, and they would destroy the country. Open borders. To me, the biggest sin of all was allowing 25 million people into our country, murderers, drug dealers, people from mental institutions, and we're doing great with it despite the courts that are so stacked against us. We're doing great with it.
So let me ask you about...
I don't know if murders were down the lowest in 125 years. Despite all of this.
I had out-of-town visitors down by National Stadium yesterday. They said, how is the National Guard working? It's beautiful. It's very, very nice. Let me ask you about the White House course.
Washington now is one of the safest cities in the country.
Yes.
And a year ago, when I came in, it was one of the most unsafe places in the country to be. We took out 5,000 career criminals. And one stat, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. And I love that stat because it means you can fix it. And we've done that wherever we go.
I know you have to run. You offered to the White House Correspondents Association to use the ballroom when it gets done. I'm just wondering, could they put a tent on the backyard? Would you let them do a tented thing on the south lawn to do their dinner?
Well, we've done tents for years. Tents don't work, and when it rains, it's very wet land here. It's sort of marshland, and when it rains, it's brutal. It's you have a thing, and the water literally goes over their shoes. I would do it. I mean, more importantly for the future, we're building a room. It's ahead of schedule, on budget, ahead of schedule. It'll be one of the most beautiful and one of the safest ballrooms anywhere in the world. But it'll be one of the most beautiful ballrooms. It's been needed for 150 years. And
I approve of the ballroom. I've been in the White House. I work for Reagan. There's no place to have a real dinner. It's a nightmare, and it's got to be safe. Two final last fun questions, Mr. President, for your bio. If there's no McDonald's around, Burger King or Wendy's?
Oh, my God, shut up.
Well, I'll tell you, a friend of mine, he's sort of an old friend, but he's not really a friend anymore. I don't like him too much. But I've always liked Wendy's. I have liked Wendy's. But the person that controls it, I don't like him so much anymore. So I don't want to give him any, but Wendy's is pretty good.
Okay, and last fun question.
I'll do that for old time's sake.
On par fives, when you've had a good drive, do you always go for the green and two, or do you lay up?
No. Well, it depends. I hit it good. I won 38 club championships, including seniors. It's a lot. But, it depends on the length. A lot of times, I mean, that's like strategy. Like, I knew a guy that you would have known. I won't mention the name. He went all the time, and that's his whole life was that like that. No, I don't always go for it. I think sometimes you're better off laying up for a wedge and being safe. Would I take the guaranteed par as opposed to risk it for a birdie? I would lay up a lot, but if
don't take the wedge on Iran, Mr. President. Hit for the green. Go for the green on Iran.
This guy is an
well. I know how you feel, and I think you're going to be extremely happy when it all ends, and it shouldn't be that long. We're trying to be nice, but I know exactly, and some very, very smart people feel that you're right about that.
Well, it's the most important thing you've done in your 2 terms.
People, if you make a deal,
Yeah, it's the most important thing you've done in 2 terms, and I applaud. I hope you just see it through.
Well, somebody should have done it long before I got here.
Yes.
47 years of this stuff, whether the SS Cole or what, you can mention 100 different things, and thousands of American lives, and thousands of kids are walking around now. They're no longer kids without arms, without legs, with a face that got blown to pieces because of Soleimani, who I killed.
Yep.
I killed Soleimani. That was another big one. I did a lot, I did a lot.
Keep it going, Mr. President, because it's the number one thing. Thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate it.
And you're wrong about the filibuster, but
okay, another time. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
No, he is wrong. And President Trump is always right, not Hugh Hewitt. But good interview. Nevertheless, that is our president. That's what we listen to. It was Ellie Mystic Shitty Groove that I was talking about. And this is Hillary Clinton's website right here. It's called Onward to Get Her. Oh, excuse me, Onward Together. This is the Demand Justice. This is what they want to do. They want to pack the Supreme Court, guys. They have it all right here. This is demandjustice.org. Stop Trump from hijacking the courts. How do you do that? Well, you pack the courts. That's what they want to do, Shady.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want to do.
Yeah.
And the
reality
reality
that's all
is,
I was trying to say. They've had this campaign going for a long time.
Well, and part of the problem they have is that the Republicans are doing this thing, or they're doing this thing right now called the silent filibuster. I don't know if you understand what they're doing, but they're basically doing this thing called where they don't have to be there filibustering to call it a filibuster, and everybody's just sort of agreeing with it on the left and the right. That dynamic is BS, completely bogus. If you're going to have a filibuster, you need to have a warm body standing there doing it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So they've bastardized the idea of the filibuster to the point where it's pretty much non-effective at this point.
Yeah, and the silent filibuster is a modern U.S. Senate tactic where the senator or a group blocks legislation by simply threatening to filibuster rather than holding the floor with a long talking speech originating from the 1970s rule change. It creates a 60-vote threshold to end debate, making obstruction easier and less visible, the silent enemy.
And ask it how long it's currently been going on. See what it says. if you're right there on a page where you can ask that, because it'll explain that, this has been like, a long process. Like there's no way a human being could ever have endured or any type of filibuster for this duration.
Yep, exactly right. How long has it been going on?
It might not say. I can probably
1970, 72 origin.
No. I mean, like the current thing that they're doing, like they're currently in a silent filibuster on this stuff with the Save America Act.
The origin 2-track system prevent single filibuster from paralyzing Senate business. Result timeline of the filibuster. I don't know.
I'm looking. It's okay. I was asking a question that you probably handed it.
But it said recent, so
yeah,
I would say the last couple of years, right? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so either that, that's good. We got that done and out of the way because we like to listen to our president, Shady.
Oh yeah, I like to listen to some asshat interrupt him 24/7. The man he can't even get a word out, and you was like,
Wendy's or Big Mac? Wendy's or Burger King, Shady?
Going for the green? No, like actually, let's take the wedge on Iran. Let's lay up and make sure we get the birdie instead of like lumping a ball across the water and taking the risk that it goes in and Democrats get control again. Take the wedge.
Yeah, let's just take it out. Let's just do it. It looks like Facebook died already, huh?
What?
My video ended. That's
we
weird.
must
After an hour.
Oh, they only took it an hour. Oh,
it could have been because of the dead air that was happening during the break.
We had dead air?
Yeah.
What dead air?
Well, there was nothing playing, so that means there was dead air.
Mm.
I did hear the new get your like, subscribe, and whatever that is from.
That doesn't sound like dead air.
Well, it was dead air. Shady, go back and look.
I'm going to go look.
Go look.
I will.
And I was asking where everybody was. The whole chat was saying, how come it's silent? There's nothing happening. I'm like, where is everybody?
Weird.
Yeah, you weren't here. Nobody was here.
I was probably doing shady stuff.
Dead air.
I wasn't here to make it not dead air.
Yeah, no. All right, so we got that. I don't know, Shady. We got CNN admitted that, the Democrats, we got the... Oh, what do you want to talk about now, Shady? We got 3 minutes left. What do you want to do?
Well, the one thing I'd like to talk about is I have a great quote from Donald Trump yesterday. The quote from I was like just listening to him talk, and as he's doing his weave, he explains to us that it's the craziest thing. There's nobody, we can't find anybody that wants to lead that country. It's the only country in the world that nobody wants to lead. I don't really get what's going on there. Talking about Iran. And I was just thinking, what an unbelievable way to characterize something. It's the only country in the world that nobody wants to lead. That's a very interesting way to look at it, because he's got a pretty valid point. There's not a single country on earth that there's not 1,000 people scrambling to try to lead and tell everybody what to do and overlord over people. And for some reason, Jeff, those IRGC mullahs are just, I think they're getting bashful.
Yeah, you're gonna love this story. Oh my God. Secret Service agent was arrested.
I saw this.
Did you see this, Shady?
Just now. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's getting frisky, bro. Settle down.
Secret Service agent busted for allegedly hotel hallway masturbation, Shady. Here's the mugshot.
Ain't pretty.
Oh my God. And the comments in the video, on X, are hilarious.
I was noticing a few of those. I had to leave that alone because I had to come back over here.
Oh my God.
I was listening to hear you and interrupt my president while I'm reading.
Oh my God. All right, so with that, we're out of here, Shady Grove.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for another edition. What is this, show 8,784 or something?
A lot. So Christendom Defender says, I require another MG song.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
I don't think we have any more.
Oh, we have a lot.
No.
We don't have any more.
Thank you. It's scarce.
It's scarcity.
We're gonna have to work hard to find you another song, but Jeff can do it because he's your guy.
He's your guy. I tell you what,
to help you, man. I don't know. We're really.
All right. So today is Tuesday. We will see you Wednesday, which is Trump Day, and today it's 5-5 on Taco Tuesday, Shady.
Taco twofer Tuesday.
And we did twofer.
We did twofer for you. We
All right,
done
guys.
did it. We done it.
I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Wait, let me just double check Rumble Studio again because I didn't see any Rumble wallet ad.
They didn't give us one today?
No.
Oh, wow. They're getting stingy.
No. Well, let me just grab this one because it's something anyway. Shady Groove. Oh, no, wait. I can't.
Nope.
Oh, wait, here it is. Okay. Quick question. How much control do you actually have over your money right now? Technology has changed everything, and now it's changing how money works. Crypto started as a niche, but now it's going mainstream. Faster payments, more control, fewer middlemen. This isn't hype. This is just where things are going. And it's getting started today is easier than you think. That's where Rumble Wallet comes in, guys. With Rumble Wallet, you can buy Bitcoin, hold dollar-backed stable coins, and even get real gold, digital gold backed by real gold, all in one place. Setup is simple. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your debt card, credit card, or bank account and be up and running in minutes. Just start small, $10, $50, $100. It's not about the amount. It's about getting in early and understanding what's coming next. And once you're set up, you can even tip your favorite Rumble creators like the MG Show directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code and click the link in the description. Download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet and tap buy, and then you're in the game. Take control of your money today and get started with Rumble Wallet now.
Get in the game.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless you all.
Trump Day.
Trump Day. Oh, wait. Oh, boy. Let me get this in. Okay.
Apologize for that.
Oh, speaking of you.
Yeah, got problems. How do you know?
InfoWars is dead.
InfoWars is dead.
But the fight ain't over yet. Smoke clearing, logo switching. Welcome to the real alternative. They try to bury the truth in the $1 billion grave. Sandy Hook judges liquidate and slay. Alex went down swinging, but the message don't die. Now the matrix is cracking and the people ask why. Trump called him out cold on Truth Social Blast. Low IQ nut jobs fighting them in the past. From the ashes of Austin, new voices ignite. Jeffrey and Shannon holding the line. No sponsors pulling strings, no globalist chains. Just raw, uncut truth running through your veins. MG Show, hey, the alternative. Info wars gone, but we still live. Truth bombs dropping, red pills flying high. Wake up America, this is your battle cry. MG Show, hey, turn it up loud. From the heartland to the crowd. They can't cancel the message, can't kill the fight. We the people, we the light. Hey. Border invasion, deep state games, old guard flipped on Trump when the pressure came. Were they MAGA all along or infiltrators in disguise? Talking 25th Amendment, pushing Iran lies. Trump's back in the game, steering America first. Jeffrey and Shannon breaking it down till the job is done. No more bills, there's no more controlled op lies. We expose the pedals in their suits and ties. That's going crazy. The real normies away. Type MG in the comments, seal your InfoWars is dead, but freedom's just getting started. Smoke rising, new era, new guard. The matrix is glitching, we hit 'em hard. Trump called a flip, expose the game. Infiltrators scatter when they hear his name. MG Show, hey, the alternative. InfoWars gone, but we still live. Truth bombs dropping, red pills flying high. Wake up America, this is your battle cry. MG Show, hey, turn it up loud. From the heartland to the crowd. They can't cancel the message, can't kill the fight. We the people.
Show.